Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, let me see who was here first. Happy Labor Day, everybody. Jedi Lady, thank you so much for being here first. I really appreciate that. Beverly McCaskill, hello. Uh, Yvette Black, Annie Bullard, Maggie, I see you there. Helen Marmon, YND Lane, um, is that Beacom? Thank you for being here. Maggie, Vivian Green, hello. Emma D, Faith Manzini, Tara Lovett, Church Nelly, okay. I thought I could smell gin and regret. Hey, Church Nelly. I thought I smelled gin and regret. Let's see. Connie Bomber. Joyce Yvette Davis, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. And let's see. Fleur de Yucca. Am I saying that right? And bonjour to you too. Bonjour. Arrivederci. Let me see. Buenos dias. No, that's Spanish, isn't it? Um, um, Trey Magnifique. Yeah, throw a little Trey Magnifique in there. Trey Bien. Okay, and Sharon Chong, Kenitha Ash, welcome. And Khalil Simulane, thank you so much for being here. Mad World. It is a mad world, isn't it? I don't recognize it sometimes, that's for sure. Okay. I think we're ready. All right, there we go. Archie, Lili, and Mom. I see two princesses and one prince. And also, I see a lot of ginger hair. Three gingers in the same family. My goodness, the place is overrun with gingers. Of course, if you spend enough time on a 450 million pound yacht, you could turn into a very brassy muskrat looking blonde. It's happened before. It's happened before. Seriously. If you spend enough time on some billionaire's yacht, next thing you know, you look up and you have the weirdest tone of blonde. I mean, a color that does not exist in well, it does exist in nature because there's the muskrat. But anyway, I'm in a good mood. I'm not going to start on that that hairdo of that other person. And then something that come out the gate shady. Okay. Anyway, that's enough of all that Who Shot John. Let me get on with it. Oh, by the way, again, happy Labor Day. This is a day when we could all reflect on the service of so many employees, contractors, doesn't matter. It is basic labor that has made this country the great nation that it is. And anyway, on a day like today, I think of how hard my parents and my grandparents worked, how hard everyone in the family struggled to help build this country to what it is today. And yeah, that's what I think of Labor Day. I think of all the hard work that my ancestors put in. So I claim this country. I know sometimes people are just don't feel like they're part of the whole thing, but I do. I do. I've worked too hard to not be a part of it. And don't ever let anybody challenge your citizenship or your nationality or anything like that. You're paying taxes, you belong. Even if you ain't paying taxes, nobody owns this earth. Uh, what's that? I am checking out for 10 minutes, hitting the road. My goodness, I better step on it. Hey, Janice Goodrich. I'm sitting up here doing this speech, a speech that I kind of lost the point about 5 minutes ago. I don't know what I was talking about. I was just trying to play it off. I'm like, what the hell am I talking about? What globe? What is this about the earth and the globe? And anyway, you know how it is. I'm getting a bit longer tooth, so I lose track sometime. I'll be like, what was I talking about? Wait, what did I go to the store for? uh, uh okay. So anyway, let me stop getting off track here. Felton LaShawn, thank you so much for being here. Vivian Green, did I say hi already? Doesn't matter. V Morgan, New City Gardner, Abby Rosemary. Yep. Welcome. Terry H. Wow, this is like a reunion. I should come on earlier more often. To be honest with you, I'm surprised I'm here. Okay, let's get on with it. So, all the way from Hollywood, it's With Love, Megan. Starring Jose Andreas. Well, anyway, I'm going to stop doing that. Megan, filming season 2 of With Love, Megan was more fun than you can imagine. Part of how we kept the vibe alive. Music. Between setups, I would play a song from my phone, and today I wanted to share some of the favorites I kept on rotation. Add them to your playlist, press shuffle, and enjoy. Happy Labor Day weekend. Work hard, play hard. Well, thank you so much. That was a message directly from the Duchess of Sussex. All right. All right. Very cool. So, look at those precious children. Look at them. There's Lili. Lili has one of those earpieces. You can see she's holding on to it, very professional. And Archie, he's wearing his little earpiece. They are watching mommy work. Do you see that? They're watching mommy work. How sweet is that? They are watching mommy work. I love this. I love this. Archie and Lili, bring your kids to work day. They are there watching mommy work. They're watching mommy create generational wealth, which makes me very proud of mommy. It really does. So, wait, there's more though. There are more. Okay. Let me grab those for you. Oh boy. Okay, what did I just do here? There we go. That's better. Wunderbar. Ha! I got it. All right. And coming up, Look at that. Love you, Meghan. Great menu. Who is that? Is that TA? Great menu. I don't know who that's from. Love you, Meghan. Great menu. It looks like TA. Can you guys figure out what that means? I don't know what it means. Is that TA? Love you, Meghan. Great menu. It must be one of her guests, right? Um, Come on, you guys, help me out. Jose Andreas. Okay, maybe it's JH, right? Okay, I get it. JH. Okay, maybe that's a J. All right. Well, that makes sense. Thank you very much. Jose Andreas. There we go. Nice to have some encouragement along the way. Great menu. Sharon Augustine. My goodness, it's been a long time. Happy Labor Day. Thank you so much. Nicole Tanis. My goodness, so many people I haven't seen forever. And then here's one of those images like you see on the monitor. Very cool. Yeah, that is one of those monitor shots right there. It is recording. Mm-hmm. I make like I know what all that coded information is at the bottom. I have no clue. But anyway, it looks so professional. Look at there. Is that it is that Uncle Daniel? Yes, that is Uncle Daniel. Uncle Daniel is joining the rest of the crew back in the green room. That's where all the celebrities hang out before they are called onto the set. Um, Lili, who is already a star, as you can see. Oh, you know what? That's her trailer. That's what it is. That's her trailer. She's on a Zoom call with her agent, and then Daniel just so happens to surprise her. That's what's going on here. Yeah. Lily's on the phone with her agent. Um, and of course, Archie is somewhere looking at his Ferrari, and Daniel just happens to be on set that day. So the Sussex family is a family of professionals. You understand? They're professionals. Yep. Even Mama Mia has an agent. Yes, even the dog has an agent and a stylist. Let me see. A high tide raises all boats. That is one of those. Oh, let's see. Sharon Augustine, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you for joining us today on Royal Sussex. Don't you love this? I mean, there's Joan Garcia. Thanks for joining us. And is that Ron Anderson? Thank you for being here. Andrea Allen. Very cool. Lady T, Heather Stroud. I tell you, this is like a family reunion. I'm seeing a few names I haven't seen. And Muriel. Hey, Muriel, thank you so much for being here. So, anyway, that is one of Meghan's favorite quotes right there. A high tide raises all boats, which means that if we all work hard and try to be very respectful to each other, there's no reason why our combined efforts won't benefit everyone. It will benefit everyone. So that's what they mean by a high tide raises all boats. I like that. It's very touching. And action. Look at Archie. Archie is using the what do they call that? The clapboard or whatever? Look at that. Archie and Lili are so professional. And to think, I thought Archie was outside looking at that Lamborghini that he just took order, but nope, he's actually working, right? That reminds me of Harry when they were at the polo event, and Harry and Nacho were, you know, with their headphones and cameras and everything. Stephen Black, it's been forever, hasn't it? This is self made generational wealth versus generational laziness. Thank you so much for the very, very appropriate super chat. Thank you very much for that. And lazy those other ones are, the Left Behind Royals. Lazy. I'm Marie Hoffman. Thank you for joining us. And that is the playlist right there that Meghan was speaking of. Now, of course, that is so small, I'm going to have to try to stretch that out so I can see what's it all about, Archie. What's it all about, Lili? Okay. It says, okay, Oogum Boogum song, Brenton Wood. Dancing in the Moonlight, King Harvest. Dancing in the Moonlight. I think I know that song. Yes, I think I know that song. What else do we have here? Coconut, Harry Nilsson. That must be an instrumental thing. I don't think I know that one. And You Are the Woman, Firefall. Gosh, I don't know how that goes. You Are the Woman. I mean, I certainly heard of Firefall, but Sunny by Bobby Ebb. You and Me, Penny and the Quarters. Into the Mystic, Van Morrison. How sweet it is to be loved by you. Yeah. How sweet it is to be loved by you. James Taylor. James Taylor. And yes, the Duchess of Sussex is a huge James Taylor fan. If you guys remember, our Duchess actually went to a James Taylor concert, and Harry and the Duchess actually went backstage and took a photograph, not only with James Taylor, but also James Taylor's son. So let me see here. I do have, I think that's it right there. Wow, my response time is incredible. There you go. Harry and Meghan at a James Taylor concert. How about that? Huh? How about that? Now let me see if I can find those photos they took together. Uh, okay, let me see if I find that one. So that was, oh, that was May the 19th this year, right? I didn't realize it was that recent. Sure was. And guess what? I don't see it. I don't think I saved the photo, although that's so unlike me to not do that, but don't look like I have it. Huh, that's interesting. Oh my God. No wonder. Okay, I got it. I see what I did there. I see what I did. Uh, okay, no good. I don't have it. I cannot believe I did not save those photos, but I certainly didn't. Oh well, maybe next time. Wow, interesting. No, ain't got it. All right. So, let me continue here. Oh, I was going over the playlist, wasn't I? Let me continue with that, and then we'll. Right. So it was James Taylor, "Summer Breeze," Steels and Croft. That's on Megan's playlist. Summer breeze makes me feel fine, blowing through the jasmine of my mind. Yes, Summer Breeze. I tell you, all of these titles are making me feel very young. And you know, that only lasts until I take a glance into the mirror and then all of that's gone to hell. Um, I feel real young until I pass by one of those mirrors. I'll risk the 7 years bad luck. Anything to get that crap out of here. Okay, so we got Summer Breeze. I can't go for that. No can do. Oh, Daryl Hall and John Oates. Hall and Oates. I can't go for that. No, no. No can do. Nothing from nothing leads to nothing. And I got something. Oh, wait, is that right? Nothing from nothing leads nothing. Gotta have something if you want to be with me. Anyway, that is the next song on the playlist. Number 11 is Billy Preston. Um, oh, Peggy Lee. Ain't We Got Fun? Is that the song in the morning, in the evening? Ain't we got fun? Not much money, oh, but honey, ain't we got fun? God, I'm old. Good grief, am I old? Let me see what else. Oh, Aretha Franklin. You got to accentuate the positive and eliminate the negative and hang on to that affirmative, but don't mess with Mr. In Between. Ow. Yes, yes, I know that song. I know that song too. Let me see. So accentuate the positive, and oh, that's Aretha Franklin. Want to dance with somebody, somebody who loves me, Whitney Houston, and then my guy, Mary Wells. Nothing you can do can make me untrue to my guy. Nothing you could buy could make me tell a lie to my guy. I'm sticking to my guy like a stamp to a letter, like birds of a feather. We stick together. I'm telling you from the start, I can't be torn apart from my guy. What you say? Tell me more. Oh, this is fun. See, Megan must be a riot to hang out with because she has the best playlist. I mean, I'm pretty sure I know all these songs. Let's see. Andrea Allen, thank you so much for the super sticker. And as always, thank you for being a member and for watching Royal Sussex. Okay, let me see here. Solid, solid as a rock. Ella Fitzgerald, solid as a rock. Now I know Ella Fitzgerald. I don't think I've ever heard her sing a song called "Solid as a Rock," but I'm sure it's not like Ashford and Simpson's "Solid as a Rock." I'm sure it doesn't sound anything like that. The firm frame sauce? No, the frim. Oh, the frim fram sauce. Louis Armstrong and Ella Fitzgerald. Oh my God. Megan likes Ella Fitzgerald. I love Ella Fitzgerald. I love Ella Fitzgerald. Merde. Yeah, merde. Now, how about that French? Oh, well, thank you so much, Church Nelly. I always try to learn the dirty words first. Uh, uh, okay, I got what? Two more songs. I Was Made to Love Her, Stevie Wonder, and Lovely Day, Lovely Day, a Lovely Day. Bill Withers, Lovely Day. So that is Megan's playlist. Um, if you guys are interested, make sure you. Well, it's on the Instagram. That's where I got it from. It's from the Instagram. A lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day. And of course, that is Chef. What's her name? The one who made the reception dinner for the Sussexes. From everything I've seen of her on With Love, Meghan, and from everything, I mean, she's what, the first woman to have three Michelin stars at the same time or something like that. So yeah, she's very good at what she does. Okay. And uh-huh. And that nice lady too. Congratulations, Megan Sussex. I think a congratulations is definitely in order because I tell you, With Love, Megan has been nothing less than extraordinary. Um, Even the first episode of season two, where everything was so chaotic in the kitchen, and from that came much needed order, and a wonderful meal was had. So, and it ended with s'mores. Anyway, I thought it was great. Carolyn Minter, thank you so much for being here. All right, very cool. Thank you so much for being here. And have you guys seen this? Megan was trying desperately to, I think she was reducing berries, and she took the spatula and she's like trying to strain it through the strainer, and it was just like this big glob, and she's pressing and pressing, and it took a month of Sundays for that stuff to go through. I mean, she really had to mash it. I'm pretty sure a couple of more um, mashes with that spatula, and it may have gone right through that weave. So that was, but it was, she thought it was funny. She goes, now the goal is to make it delicious, chunky goodness. And then she says to delicious, smooth goodness. And then eventually she's like, is this working? But yeah, they had to kind of like edit because I don't know how long she was standing there trying to do that, but it just did not seem to work. Now, moving on to this spot of bother, King Charles' fraught relationship with William is blocking Harry's reconciliation. Okay, I'm not going to get into the whole Harry and Charles thing because while we're talking about that, or should I say, while we're fed up with hearing about it, the truth is, it is the story is Willie and and his dad. That is the story, not what Harry's doing or not doing. Charles is very, very upset that Willie Leaks has not has not been fulfilling his obligations as the Prince of Wales. And it doesn't seem like he's planning to do anything anytime soon. It's as though William is just waiting patiently for the day he ascends a throne. Um, they tried to make the article about Harry, but quickly it was all Willie and Chucky. Very quickly. You could not maintain that. That would have been impossible because it just had nothing to do with Harry. This is long-term failure on William's part. That's what it is. Neglect. And Charles does not seem to have a way to straighten them out. Charles is unable to convince William to show up and be accountable. That is the real problem that they're having. All of this stuff about Harry, as usual, is just a smokescreen. It is just a smokescreen. It is it is William that is going to cause grief to that institution. Clearly, it's William. Let me see here. I want to share a bit of that article with you. Okay, I seem to have misplaced it, but not to worry. I will find it quickly. Nope. Okay. Try that one. There it is. Okay, so the key obstacle to a meeting between King Charles III and Prince Harry when Harry visits London next week is Charles' strained relationship with Prince William. William and Charles are at loggerheads because William thinks Charles' monarchy has not modernized as much as it should have. It still radiates pomposity and looks out of touch thanks to Charles' love of uniforms and ermine, the little furry bits. Now, remember I kept telling you guys, William refused to wear his kilt when he goes up to Scotland. Also, I've pointed out a few times how William seems to have this very smug look on his face when they have the Order of the Garter. He does not like those uniforms. The military stuff, he's cool with that because that gives him a chance to try to outdo Harry. But it is those ceremonial things that seems to rub him the wrong way. He is not for it. He does not want to do it. And the look that he has on his face when it is required, it makes me uncomfortable. And I promise you, I don't even care, but it makes me uncomfortable. Now, there are some people who want to be in those positions, who want to wear all of the robes and everything, but instead of making it into something regal, they look like a big, sloppy mess. You see what I mean? A big, sloppy mess. See that? They're wearing that garish dress that they purchased at the FW Woolworths before the war. Those shoes that look like they belong to Minnie Mouse, that played out Farrah Fawcett hair. It's days like that when I miss Queen Elizabeth. I do. I miss her. I really do miss her because at least, she was doing things properly. But as for that big spot of bother, that sloppy mess, the one that looks like she ran out of there, like she woke up in the middle of the night and she wanted to get a cold pop and she thought she smelled barbecue. You know what I mean? She woke up in the middle of the night and she said, I smell barbecue. And then she realized, Lord Jesus is a fire. And when she realized it was a fire, she said,
ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that. So she just ran out looking like a big sloppy mess, looking like she just snatched the curtains down in some brothel or something. There's those really do look like some kind of window treatment at a brothel that's been around since William the Conqueror. Oh, what a mess! A mess! Do you hear me? A mess. A big sloppy mess. Anyway, um, I'm getting carried away. So let's see here. Joan Garcia says, for Meghan, uh, as Hammer says, can't touch this. All right, I like that. Thank you, Joan Garcia. Can't touch that. Can't touch that. I would like to see William dance like MC Hammer with the pants and all. I'd love to see that. And you know what? He'd probably do it. I mean, we've seen some of his dance moves, haven't we? Um, when it looked like he's coming down from something, those dance moves. Okay, so Charles is hugely afraid of making his relationship with William even worse than it already is. And he undoubtedly will do this if he goes against William's strongly held belief that no member of the royal family should confer legitimacy on Harry by meeting with him or being photographed with him after he made millions. You hear me? Millions of dollars by betraying the firm in his memoir and TV shows. Promise? Promise that he made millions? I hope so. No, Harry wasn't supposed to make any money. Instead, William and Charles, uh, Camilla of Godzilla, and Mumbles, they were supposed to get everything they wanted by leaking and briefing, pretty much giving the tabloids a blueprint to go after the Sussexes. But Harry and Meghan, well, they weren't supposed to say anything. They're supposed to just shut up and take it. Make that make sense. William is being guided on his issue, as they like to say in the UK, his issue, not just by his own grievance, but also by domestic public opinion, which shows a huge majority of the public does not believe Charles should grant Harry an audience, thereby effectively reclaiming him to the royal fold. There is nothing to reclaim. Harry was born a prince. Harry has been an HRH all his life. That is not ever going to go away. And no one is going to take it away. Harry is a prince of the realm, period. Period. He is a royal prince. His title is his real name. His real name is his title. His first name is Prince. You're not going to take that away from him. So it's not a matter of conferring something upon Harry by meeting with him. I don't believe that thing about what the public says. I don't believe it for nothing. They made that up. It's all made up. April Lynn says, you do know that Edwina loves to dress up in uniform, especially Remembrance Day, to debut his new coat. Yes, thank you very much for that reminder. There is a member of the family that loves to play dress up, and that, of course, is Edwina Rambolina. With her very bespoke haute couture maxi coat. Yeah, that and then look at how flirtatious it is when he shows off a little thigh. You see that? his very muscular thigh on that very wiry body of his. Yes, I tell you, he is quite intimidating. He looks like he's directly out of central casting, or at least out of a casting. But yes, with that runway walk. I mean, he could walk those shows in Milan, Paris, Madrid, wherever the fashion goes, he goes. Yeah, he doesn't look a day over whatever his age is. But yeah, the fashion world has been looking for someone like him. And don't let him lick his lips. Oh, it's over with at that point. It's over with. Let's see. Leg says, is William buying Charles III? I'm sorry, buying bullying Charles III as well as Harry? Investigation. Thank you very much, Legs. Well, we all know that his father is quite intimidated by the likes of him. So that should come as no surprise to anyone that Charles, even though he is king, he kind of carries on like he's afraid of his son. I don't think they talk. As a matter of fact, somewhere in this article it says that they don't talk. Let me see. William is being okay. A friend of William told Royalists this week that William believes his hand has been strengthened by the renewed disgrace of Prince Andrew, over whose fate Charles has facilitated this week. Andrew threw a fit at workers installing a speed bump outside his home. That should not even be news, you guys. I mean, honestly, I don't care for Andrew, the sick old man, but that was leaked. Why is it being leaked? Because William can only stand tall if he tears down, with a bunch of leaking and briefing allegedly, if he tears down everybody else in the family. It's not limited to Harry or Meghan. It has to be a full frontal attack upon everyone in the household. Everyone is subject to ridicule because William's insecurity. The only way he can stand tall is not based on merit. William doesn't belong to a meritocracy, and he will never be a part of a meritocracy. Everything that he has been given. Everything. He hasn't earned anything, not a thing. And so, in order to look like a stronger person, leaking and briefing is taking place from someone. Someone has been given the green light to keep talking about Andrew as if he's relevant. So, as soon as someone got wind of the speed bump thing, what happened? It was leaked to the tabloids. That should have never, ever come out. And I believed it happened, but it is so unnecessary. If every time Philip said something wrong and they went to the press about it, where there were no cameras or witnesses, just the workers on the properties, um, people would have a very poor idea of what Philip was like. So this is a total a setup to make William seem like a good option, a safe pair of hands for the institution. A friend said William always said, just cut Andrew off completely. It's not appropriate to have an alleged offender breaking bread with the royal family. All I can say is, which one? Okay, which one? Anyway, Charles was so desperate to be seen as embodying the spirit of Christian forgiveness that he let Andrew back in. If Charles is trying to show Christian forgiveness, if Charles is trying to demonstrate grace, then he would have never taken Frogmore away. Okay? If Charles is trying to demonstrate that he is this very fair and thoughtful king, he would have never taken. He evicted his grandchildren. The only assured safe address that his grandchildren, Archie and Lili, had in the UK, and he kicked them out. They were evicted. So this whole thing that Charles is trying to be so benevolent, I don't buy it. This is some nonsense, and it sounds like it comes from Kensington Palace to make William seem so fair and so strident. Why is this girl still on my screen? Let me get her off of here. Bye, Felicia. There we go. I need to be over here. I didn't know she was still up there. Anyways, ultimately, William is a loyal soldier. Oh wait, that's not where I left off. Charles is weak. William is anything. Okay, yeah, there we go. William is right about Andrew, and he is right about Harry. A source added, Charles is weak. William is anything but. Says Kensington Palace. The source is Kensington Palace. Ultimately, however, William won't make waves if Charles meets Harry. There's nothing he could do. If Charles chooses to spend time with his son, then he will. I won't believe it until I see it, but there you are. Ultimately, William is a loyal soldier. He respects his father's rank. That's a lie. And he respects his father's right to make his own decision. Another lie. And he won't make a fuss if it happens. No, he's not going to make a fuss. Someone from Kensington Palace is going to make a fuss for him. Yeah, so he won't make a fuss if it happens. The friend said, but thinks a Harry meeting is a terrible, terrible idea. And they did say terrible, terrible. Not a terrible idea, not a terrible, terrible, terrible idea, but a double terrible idea. This is all nonsense, and it is coming from Kensington Palace. That's where it's coming from. It's all contrived and it's all made up. They're trying to elevate William's stature. Remember, he's a global statesman. That's what he is. It's so much easier for them to blame anything uncomfortable on racism rather than address the fact that the negativity toward them is coming from within the royal family. Doesn't he have a creepy voice? If Dan Wooten never said anything right in his life, I believe that he was bang on 100% correct when he said that, when he uttered those words. He was correct, and he should know. He should know. Of all people, he should know. But the friend doubts Charles will meet Harry as he did with Andrew. I have my doubts too. Now, is history going to repeat itself with a photo of Harry and the king having tea? Nope. I guarantee you there's not going to be any images. I mean, you know what? I might be wrong, but I just don't see that happening. The source says it's absurd to even imagine that after what Harry said, unless there is some form of direct apology from Harry, forget it. There will be no apology. There will be no apologies. Harry said what he meant, and he meant what he said. I really doubt that there will be a photo. If there is a photo, it's a photo not for us, not for the British public, but that photo, if there was a photo that takes place, if Harry meets his father, that photo is for William. Charles needs to rein him in because William does what the F he wants to do, and nobody can stop him. Nobody can speak to him. He is absolutely unhinged, and everything, and I do mean everything, goes his way. At a time of austerity, shortages in the NHS, people unable to get into any level of the housing market, whether it's rentals, and Lord knows nobody can buy anything. And yet, um, William ups and goes and get another home in the middle of all of this because he doesn't care, because he doesn't have good sense. Harry's closest advisor also say they do not know if a meeting will happen. Stop it with the meeting. This is only about Charles trying to get his son to do some work. That's what it's about. The only mention of Harry, if there was any mention of Harry, is to try to lure William out of his quiet spaces and to get him to do some work. And he needs to bring his wife with him. He had nothing on the calendar for last month. Nothing. Not a thing. Another family friend of the royals described the relationship between William and the king to me this week as tense, difficult, formal, and fraught, with William having a deep-seated resentment of his father rooted in his childhood trauma, a permanent issue. Oh, I'm sorry, pertinent. That's it. Pertinent issue on the anniversary of Diana's death. I'm like, permanent. Anyway, the two men only rarely speak formally, with the vast majority of their communications mediated by their private secretaries. This source said they do not meet informally as a rule. Didn't I say that? Didn't I say that? They are not talking to each other. They do not spend any time together. What we see of them together is usually very public. They were not even speaking to each other in the carriage at the Royal Ascot. There is no connection there. Stop using Harry as some type of wild card or something like that. This is all about Charles and his idiot son. Plain and simple. And none of this has nothing to do with Harry. They're using the excuse of Harry coming over to try to stir things up, to try to ignite some type of reaction from William. One former Buckingham Palace staffer who maintains good contacts with the current staff told the royalists that William and the king had incredibly spent no time at all together privately one on one when William and Kate were in Balmoral last week, with the king preferring to withdraw to the privacy of his private home, Burke Hall, 8 miles away from the castle on an enormous Scottish estate. Charles didn't even stay at the house. Charles went home and got in his own bed and did not give a damn about speaking to his son. There's no connection there. This article would be great if they stopped leaning on Harry. Harry is not the issue. The future king and the reigning monarch do not speak. They have a bunch of suits in between them. Well, the men in gray suits, and then of course the beard brigade over at Kensington Palace. That is how they communicate. That is outrageous. William may be king way before anybody is ready, and he's not even speaking to his father. And then I'm waiting to see the clash when William tries to bring all of his bearded friends into his reign, as opposed to those very traditional royalists that come from the right families, right? I'm just waiting to see that, because it to me it sounds like it's going to be a war in that household. William is going to expect his people, and he's not. I mean, because right now, William ought to be putting some people in place that he's going to take onto the throne with him. I don't see that happening. Of course, Jason will be there. Jason is not the sort that you want to take to, that position. He's just not. Also, riddle me this. Have anybody heard anything about William having a red box? Have you guys heard anything about William having one of those red boxes? Because if he does not have one, that is very telling. I'm trying to remember if I've ever seen anyone follow him with a red box, him sitting at a table looking through the red box. And this is what I mean by the red box. I mean exactly what you see there. Accession Day 2022, the 70th anniversary of Her Majesty's reign. That marks 70 years since her father died and she became queen. And the red, I think they call it a dispatch box that comes with a lock and key. I don't know that William has one of those. He really should as Prince of Wales, but I've never heard any mention of it. I'm pretty sure that he has. They have to be getting him ready for the throne. They just have to be. But I just can't imagine that they are getting very far because of his character. This man is bonkers. Lex says, William saying, don't talk to Harry without me like last time. Absolutely. And also, let us not forget either, when they had that chat at the club with Charles' people and Harry's people, and nobody said anything to Kensington Palace. No one. Kensington Palace had to find out like everybody else. You know what, guys? This is kind of juicy, though. I'm not going to lie to you. I am kind of enjoying this. I just wish they would keep Harry's name out of it, but I am rather enjoying this. I am enjoying it. And I don't feel sorry for Charles in the least bit because he is a horrible person. Thank you, Legs. April Lynn says we need Afro Annie to keep King Charles to talk to Harry. Um, just give Afro Annie a pack of Newports and gin and tonic or bourbon will get the job done. Absolutely. That's all. Afro Annie don't ask for much, y'all. All she wants is a pack of her loose squares, her Newports, her Afro pick. That's all she asked for. And of course, do not, I repeat, do not have a barbecue and not invite Afro Annie. It just wouldn't be right. Yeah, you cannot have the barbecue without Afro Annie. Afro Annie. Right on. All right now. All right. Thank you so much for the super chat. Elaine Parker. Thank you, Elaine Parker, for the super sticker. And as always, thank you for being a member of Royal Sussex and the moderator.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Elaine Parker, for the super sticker. You know, after the unfortunate thing that happened to Afro Annie when they found her unconscious face down in the lawn with loose squares all over the place, um, she's been like trying to mimic what she has seen from the African American community. Whoa, whoa, I got my hoof on the ground. Where those hoops at? Where those hoops at? Yep. She's been singing Where Those Hoops At. That's why I suspect Camilla. Yep. I have been thinking for a while that Camilla kicked the shit out of her. But you didn't hear me say that. Look, somebody walloped her. Let's see. Nash Singhvi, 33 months. Thank you so much for 33 months membership. Wow, that time has gone by fast. And Kevin Slim says Princess Anne is not only racially ambiguous, she's also a sex symbol. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. And I think it's high time that people give her credit for that. Thank you so much for the super sticker, a super chat. Yeah. Yeah, there's just something about her. She's what you call a very handsome woman. Yeah, she's a very handsome woman. And she's always, I do mean always, invited to the barbecue. She bring her own paprika in case somebody makes some devil eggs and forget to put some paprika on it. She brings her own paprika. That's Afro Annie. She always remembers. So let me see here. Woo! Yep, that's our Afro Annie. Um, oh man. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Knuckle dusters, all kind of stuff, which explains why she didn't have to go with the kidnappers. All of that explains why she didn't have to go with the kidnappers. Zandy Sussex says, haha, Willie Macbeth's so predictable. I knew he'd come running out to throw a toddler tantrum as soon as there was mention of Harry going to the UK. How is it possible for a 43-year-old man to be behaving like a 3-year-old toddler? Well, it wouldn't be William if he didn't. Let's see here. It says former staffers said Charles believes in tradition and continuity above all. William thinks many aspects of his father's approach are outdated, preferring a more modern interpretation of monarchy. In other words, he wants to make videos and not actually go out and do the work. I asked this source about two rumors I have heard this year. William apparently demurred at being sent to the Pope's funeral because his soccer team, Aston Villa, was playing on the same day. The king was aghast when William's position filtered back to him, and ultimately William went. However, William was not persuaded to attend the VJ Day commemoration earlier this month, a decision that I have been told dismayed the king. So, first, Kate didn't show up for the royal ascot with no reasonable explanation, although they tried to contrive something for her. And then William and Kate just both decide, I'm not going to VJ Day. To hell with the sacrifices of the British military soldiers and such. To hell with them. I'm not going. So what did they do? William and Kate sent a tweet. Why go if you can just tweet or put it on your Instagram or whatever? Why even bother? Not even a message of some sort. And you know what really gets me about that is that William sent a tweet. Harry sent flowers. Now they say that, oh, what Harry did, it's like he spat on the blood of the blah 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 blah, and people are all up in their feelings about it. Number one, they wouldn't have known if you didn't say anything. And number two, Harry addressed his grandfather, who was a veteran of the Pacific Campaign. That was for his grandfather, not for the whole of the military, although Harry did mention it in the letter. But the point is, it does not matter what they say. They're just trying to stir up a bunch of trouble. Instead of talking about Harry sending flowers via someone they don't even know, I'm pretty sure they were looking at the surveillance. Why don't you drag Willie for sending a tweet? William is going to be the commander of the armed forces, the supreme governor of the Church of England. William would no longer need a driver's license. It would be redundant because when he becomes king, just like the queen before him and Charles, the need for any identification ends as soon as Charles takes his last breath. No passports will be necessary, and no driver's license will be necessary. And how is William preparing? Gossiping about Harry. How is William preparing? Ignoring his father. How is William preparing? Well, he just went and got a new home. William is collecting properties like Theranos and those that infinity stones and all that stuff. That's what he's doing. Every house represents another infinity stone. But instead of going to the corners of the universe, he's going to the corners of the Crown Estate properties and getting away with it, by the way. Why drag him when you can say something about Harry honoring his grandfather? Does that make sense? Harry is honoring his grandfather, and they want to make a big to do out of Prince Harry sending a wreath to celebrate and acknowledge his grandfather's sacrifice, Prince Philip, who served in the Pacific campaign. But instead of dragging William for not showing up and sending a tweet, he could have just stood on his property and read a message. He wouldn't do that. He just sent a tweet. Only a tweet will do. Any of those morons over at Kensington Palace could have put a speech together for him. Just something. He didn't even do that because he doesn't care, because nothing is going to happen. Just pull Harry into it and all is forgiven. It works every time. I mean, they have not run out of excuses for Kate's laziness, and they have not run out of excuses for William's lack of involvement. William should be at his father's side preparing for his reign. And he's not doing anything. He's shopping for dinette sets, pillow shams. Oh, you know what? You know what? Kate's country cottage kitchen curtains. That's one thing that will free up some of his time. William does not have to worry about finding a good pattern for the kitchen curtains because I'm pretty sure that someone is on the staff is going to say, you know what? What about that garish green dress that Kate wore to Ireland when she went over there and totally assaulted the optic nerves of millions of people who haven't done anything to her? A pattern that was so garish that it actually causes headaches and vomiting and nosebleeds. That that pattern, that the country cottage kitchen curtains. Projectile vomiting is induced by that green dress that Kate wore. People thought somebody was yelling Earl. They kept hearing people yell, Earl! Well, they weren't trying to call Earl. They were upchucking, having laid eyes on that horrible, that apology of a dress that Kate was wearing. Ugh. And of course, so insensitive she was, a dress that seemed to poke fun at the Jolly Green Giant. It was a twofer. It was a twofer. On the one hand, she could do a very subversive attack upon the people of Ireland, and on the other hand, she could set the fashion industry ablaze. She really could. I mean, I'm sure some people looked at that dress and said, you know what? Now it's been got personal. But I digress. um, Speaking of which, where is that dress? The Jolly Green Giant. Up in the valley of the Jolly Green Giant. Hi, Sprout. Okay, there it is. Woo, you couldn't tell Kate she wasn't causing it. Kate put that on and felt magnificent. Look at that big smile on her face. You couldn't tell her nothing. Even though she's walking around like a giant set of country kitchen cottage curtains, I guess it's the way she wore it. You know what I mean? You really got to know yourself. No one else could have pulled that off. What am I saying? Everybody would have tried to pull that off. Literally pull it off. But when I say pull it off where Kate is concerned, I just mean, wear it and stand up straight and look people in the eye as if you're wearing something exceptional. Well, I guess in a way it is exceptional. And all of that, and she had the nerves to grab a clutch. She could be holding the Hope Diamond and I wouldn't see it for that pattern. You know what I'm saying? She could have gold bullion in one hand and nobody would notice that that was gold bullion because their eyes would be fixated on that garish green dress. Ugh, it is ugly. That is ugly. And to think she wore that just 1 week before Meghan came back over for their last round of royal service before they stepped down or stepped back. A week had gone by from Kate wearing this to Meghan, wait for it, to Meghan wearing that, among other things. Okay? A week apart. Not a century, although it looked like it. A century and at least 3 dimensions. May not look like it, but it was a week apart. Anyway, where was I? Oh, I'm just about. Oh, am I through with this yet? A source said both absolutely true to William continuing to run the monarchy as though it were still an Edwardian institution feels absurd. To Charles, his son, his more casual approach feels like a lack of respect for duty and tradition. The clash William's friends believe also reflect a deep personal rift between father and son. William has long carried the trauma of his parents' marriage and divorce and his father's affair with Camilla. Now, the thing is, don't they keep saying that Harry should move on? Don't they keep saying Harry ought to let it go? Huh? Ain't that what they keep saying? Is that Harry should not reflect on any trauma that he felt because of the war of the Welleses? Now Harry is to move on, but William gets a little pat on the back. You squeeze his shoulder, you hold his hand, you kind of pep him up a little bit because he is feeling a bit of trauma because of his youth, but only him. Harry, just get on with it, pretend like it didn't happen, and ignore the fact that they're, using some of those same tactics against your wife that they used against your mother, and in some cases, some of the same people. But ignore that, Harry. Ignore it. It'll go away and sort itself out on its own. Don't even pay attention to it. That's what they keep telling him. Charles, despite attempts to recast himself as an engaged father, was a poor parent. He was often absent and remained distant from his Welsh grandchildren, William is doing things as differently as he can in in a living rebuke to his father. Against this backdrop, William has made it clear he opposes any rapprochement with Harry. He blames his brother for the upheaval of recent years, feels betrayed by Spare and the Netflix series, and fears any reunion would be exploited to revive the Sussex brand. Also, already faltering as Meghan's latest Netflix outing with Love Meghan appears to have dropped out of the top 50 when the figures are released Tuesday. Charles, by contrast, would like to see his younger son, but William's position as heir is significant now than ever than ever, given the king's cancer diagnosis. No one knows how long Charles will live, and this uncertainty has courtiers watching William more closely than the king himself, aligning with Charles against William. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm thinking about that headline. Do you guys remember? Oh my God, I forgot what happened. And they said that the palace is going to be watching William and Kate more closely. And I'm like, and what are they going to see? Watch them close for what? It don't matter if you watch him close, because Lord knows if you say something to him, he likely to haul off and whack you. What are you going to say to him? If William is doing something untoward, what are you going to do about it? Everybody's afraid of him. So what? What is looking at William closely going to achieve? Do you want to make sure you can see him ruin things without a doubt? Or do you want to just wait and find out like the rest of the public? Watching them much closer. As if William would probably turn incandescent and start frothing at the mouth. I don't see what difference it makes whether you watch him or you don't watch him. Lord knows you better not say nothing to him. Everybody's afraid of him. That's why they want Harry to come back, because they're afraid of him. They know Harry don't care, but the rest of them, they're terrified. The only one that's not afraid of him is Afro Annie. But that's it. That's the list of people in the Left Behind Royals that fears not. The rest of them, they're terrified. They're not going to say anything to William. Watch them more closely. As if. Right? Wait until Meghan starts writing. Let me see. Charles, by contrast, would like to see his younger son, but William's position is heir. Okay, did that already. So Charles is boxed in. Oh no, that's not right. No one knows how long Charles. Okay, did that. William could be a career-ending misstep at court. Yeah, aligning with Charles against William could be a career-ending misstep at court. So Charles is boxed in. He is king, but not all powerful. His role is political, requiring him to constantly balance competing interests. Okay. Oh, you know what? Now there's only one thing in this whole article that is very honest. It says, "We have of course been here before, Last year, speculation about a possible meeting on the sidelines of Whale Child ended only when Harry issued a terse statement saying he had wanted to see his father, but Charles had had other priorities. The sharpness of the response did nothing to mend fences between the monarchy and Montecito. This year's rumors have been fueled by news that Harry's and Charles's press team held an informal session last month to discuss diaries, an unusually conciliatory gesture from Harry's side after palace staff were left fuming by Harry's carefully staged walk through the Angolan minefields, echoing Diana's iconic visit, which knocked a carefully planned Camilla birthday portrait off the front pages. So you mean to tell me that Harry walking through a minefield distracted from Camilla having her portrait shown to the world? Camilla, who by all appearances looked like she's been dragged through a minefield, you mean to tell me the public would prefer to see Harry walk through a minefield than to look at Camilla's face in oils at some art gallery somewhere? Well, that's shocking. Who does that? Me? You know, my hand went up. Who does that? Me? You know, I'm like Sweet Brown.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
I ain't got time for it. I don't have time for it.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yep, I ain't got time for that. I want a cold pop. And I want to smell some barbecue. Okay, April Lynn says Duchess Meghan wore that emerald green at the Commonwealth. This is how you wear green. Kate and Kate and made mad. She had that stink face. Yeah, she had that something stink face. Yes, you're talking about the green cape dress. Anytime Meghan means business, you know she's about to bust out the cape. Meghan always wears a cape when she means business. I think that is so cool. Thank you for the super chat. Thanks for reminding us about that. Okay, so we're just about done with this article. Scheduling clashes like these have always plagued the Windsors. In Spare, Harry recounts William was warned not to let Princess Kate be photographed with a tennis racket during one engagement because Charles had a sporting appearance on the same day and risked being eclipsed. Jealousy is old as the institution itself. So once again, we watch and wait with, will Charles risk angering William to embrace his son? No. Will duty to the heir outweigh a father's instinct? No. That is a royal story to watch in the coming weeks. There is a story in the Mirror this week. Okay, we're done. Okay. Thank you. Let me go on to whatever is next. New episode of Palace Confidential out now. Well, I Am Sage says you guys need to read the comments under this post. Apparently, so many people stop watching because all you do is attack the Waleses, they said. Yeah, a lot of people are angry with the Palace Confidential because they said that they were being very, very biased against the Waleses because they dared to mention something about Kate not working. Well, it wasn't just Palace Confidential, which belongs to Daily Mail. It was also Amanda Platel and Liz Jones. They both had those scathing articles where they pretty much threatened the Welleses, y'all better get to work if you know what's good for you. So it was not limited to the show. It was also in the daily paper. Now, what is Meghan Sussex's real name? The truth about royal naming. Her name is Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, the Countess of Kill and the something or Rose. What is it? Dumbarton and all that kind of stuff. The Countess or Duchess of Dumbarton. She's got all of those things that are the feminine version of Harry's titles. All of that stuff too. So never mind what her name is. Of course, this comes from the interview that she had with Bloomberg. But I mean, it's a good question. But as Meghan said, her name is Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. But what people call her, other than that, just like the Welleses, well, before they were the Welleses, they were the Cambridges. So it's not really so difficult to understand. Before they were the Welleses, they were the Cambridges. Now, William went from being a Wells to a Cambridge and now back to Wales again. And that's only until he becomes king. But the duchy is usually the household name that they use for school or for the military or something like that. So it's not really that confusing. What I hate is that the media has started to run with it and make it seem like, of course, Meghan doesn't know what she's talking about, which is the same excuse they said when Meghan had the Oprah interview. They accused her of not knowing what she was talking about. So, in other words, even though Charles was plotting to take the children's titles away, I think what Charles wanted was for them just to never use those titles in any reference to Archie and Lili. But Meghan went on Oprah Winfrey and she sang like Aretha Franklin. Yep, she went on Oprah Winfrey and sang like Aretha Franklin. So whatever Charles had planned, I'm going to just say that the Duchess of Sussex made sure that she put a stop to that. And of course, Charles not wanting to, I just think that it would have been really messy if he had tried to do that. If you think Harry was upset about those passports, if you think Harry was upset about the security, if they try to mess with those kids' titles, I'm telling you, it would get real messy. Do not mess with those kids' titles. Harry sees that as their birthright, and as do I. And I'm kind of ghetto. I want everything I got coming. Everything. If there's a crumb, I want that too. I'm the person who goes to like KFC or Popeyes and get some chicken. I'm the person who say, wait. You see that little piece of crust up under there? Yeah, grab that for me. You know, that little skin that's all breaded and fried. Yeah, put that in there too. Thank you. Now, anybody who does that wants everything they got coming. Everything. Let me see. So, very briefly, Feminagra says, Meghan faced endless speculation about her name since marrying Prince Harry. Meghan explained her legal name during the conversation with Emily Chang. Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. That's what she said. Her legal name became Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. While the title itself is not a traditional surname, Sussex is as part of the dukedom structure and admitted she once found it baffling until she learned more about the British royal customs. So that's it. It does not get any more complicated than that. That is it. Oh, you know what? I haven't did one soundbite today. Why don't I let Meghan explain it herself? Would you all like that? I do. I'm going to let Meghan explain it herself. Plus, she sounds prettier. Okay. So I'm going to let Meghan explain it herself. Just in case there's anybody who missed it.
So that didn't.
Oh, sorry.
Really, that didn't change who I am. And maybe that's probably.
Okay, it's buffering. It's buffering.
Biggest distinguishing factor.
Give me a tutorial on royal naming conventions. So, like, are you Meghan Sussex? Are you Meghan Duchess of Sussex?
Mm-hmm.
Is Markle even on your passport anymore? Is it? We don't use that term anymore.
Well, when I got married, I changed my name.
Yeah.
But it's a complicated one for people to understand because a last name is not typical in that construct.
I think we expect a last name, but is that a last name or is that?
It's not, but it's used
Mhm.
roughly or loosely rather. It sounds so silly to say, and I get it because I'm American, and then I went there and I started to understand. And you come back, and as an American, you go, "I'm so confused."
Yeah.
It's a dukedom.
A dukedom. That's a new word for me.
It's a dukedom.
Okay.
So that's the truth of it. But at the end of the day, you know, yes. So my legal name is Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. But Sussex for us works as our family name, and it's a name that we share with our children. And
Okay.
but yes, since we've been married, that's what I've been called.
Okay. It is Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. That is her legal name. Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. And they use the Sussex as a family surname. It's not a legal family surname. We all know that their legal family surname is Mountbatten-Windsor, right? But for the purposes of the conversation that we're having now, is Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. And when they're referring to the family, they're referred to as the Sussexes. That's it. Not the Mountbatten-Windsors, but the Sussexes, and that will distinguish them from other members of the family. End of. So, and before Charles became king, of course, both William and Harry were using, actually, before the William and Harry married, they were using Wells as their family surname. And then that became Cambridge for William and Sussex for Harry. So that's it. There are a lot of people who have no clue what the surnames are for royals in the UK. A lot of them just have no clue. They don't care. They're too busy working and handling their business. So that's all. Hey, Lydia Washington, thank you so much for joining us. This is Althorpe. This is the Althorpe estate. Charles Spencer, the Earl Spencer, shared the photo on the left with the bench loaded with flowers. And the bench is, the bench is not on the island rather. There's the island where Diana's resting place is, which of course we don't get a chance to really see that. But there is the bench and the I guess that's like a folly or like a little temple style structure. And that is where you could, reflect and rest and everything or leave flowers. But nobody but the family goes over to the actual island in the middle of the pond. So you can see on the right side, there is water that circles the island. Well, that is where Diana's final resting place is. Okay, let me see. What else do I have here? If you just joined us, please make sure you hit the like button. Please hit the like button. And if you're not subscribed, please do. And I'll go one more. If you don't have a membership, consider a Royal Sussex membership for just $4.99 or the price of buying a cup of coffee once a month, and you could help support this channel. Hey, Joseph Berno, thank you so much for being here. There's another view of the island. We cut some gorgeous flowers from the garden at Althorpe this morning for the island. Always an impossible day. And that, of course, is from the Earl Spencer, Charles Spencer, Diana's brother. I just watched Suits. Alcaraz said, naming his favorite TV series, really good one, long, but really good one. He said that he learned to hone his skills in the English language watching Suits. And you know what that means? Watching Meghan, among other people. So, yeah, they were remarking about how great his English sounds lately. And he said that he has been binge watching Suits. So there you go. Once again, Suits get credit for being an amazing show. But this is the first time I've heard of someone learning to speak English from Suits. Let's see. Letitia Williams, thank you so much. Oh, you just became a member. That is fantastic. Thank you so much for becoming a new member. I really, really, really do appreciate that. And thank you so much for supporting Royal Sussex. Okay. Now there you go. Carlos Alcaraz beefed up on his English by binging Meghan Sussex's Suit series. The former world number one is a growing movie buff, naming his favorite films at the U.S. Open. Let me see. Carlos Alcaraz credited his rapidly improving English to watching series and movies. After his third round victory at the 2025 U.S. Open, he said, a few years ago, I just coming here to the press conference sweating, he said on Friday. Like, okay, let's see if I'm going to understand the question. Let's see what I'm going to answer. So right now, I'm just feeling more comfortable. Fresh off his fourth round win over Arthur Renderneck? The former world number one gave us a quick peek at his streaming queue to wrap up his post-match press conference, he says, "I just watched Suits," naming his favorite TV series. Really good one. Long, but really good one. So again, that is how Carlos Alcaraz improved his English language skills by watching Suits, starring actress turned Duchess of Sussex, Meghan. The countdown, the courtroom dramedy, ran in the United States for 9 seasons and 134 episodes, giving Alcaraz hours to feel more comfortable using legal jargon in everyday life. "I've seen not too many series," Alcaraz admitted. "I'm more a movie guy. So, for example, the last one I'm watching is Pulp Fiction. Pulp Fiction? Well, that was a movie. Let me see. I know it's old. He added, drawing laughter. Anyway, I'm done when he was done talking about Meghan. Next. Well, you know what, guys? Could you imagine if he was trying to learn English from listening to Kate Middleton? Could you imagine if Kate Middleton was the source? If Kate Middleton was his source of learning the English language, he'd be lost, wouldn't he? I mean, bless her heart, she'd be trying to use that very erudite tone, that very clipped tone that she has. But I don't think that it's safe for anyone to try to learn English by listening to her. As a matter of fact, that would put them at a terrible disadvantage. So, whatever happens, there should never be a day when Kate Middleton tries to teach anybody English. I mean, she was already 30, 31 years old when she was at that press conference with William, that very first press conference. And it got out of hand fast, didn't it?
Well, obviously it'd be, I would love to have met her. And she's obviously, she's an inspirational woman to look up to. Obviously to this day, and going forward and things, it is, it's a wonderful family. The members who I've met, it's a wonderful family. The members who I've met, and she's obviously she's an inspiration, and she's obviously she's an inspirational woman to look up to. Obviously to this day, and going forward and things, it is. It's a wonderful family. The members who I've met have achieved a lot, and very inspirational. So yeah, I do.
Good Lord! Now she hemmed and hummed and stammered all the way to it. Could you imagine that poor man trying to learn from her? Oh, it would have been a disaster. It would have been a disaster. And then, of course, I felt so sorry for him because I know he didn't understand what she was saying. That's why he's got his head kind of tilted to the side. That's body language right there. That means, what in the hell is she talking about? That's his body language. Any other time you see him, he is standing perfectly erect and tall and true and everything. But one very taxing conversation with Kate, and it set back his English language skills by at least a month. It set him back at least a month. Poor guy. But that's okay. Suits, Meghan, Spectre, and all them people are here, and she's going to learn English the proper way, the way real people speak. So Yeah, there you go. Again, you guys, make sure you are watching Netflix again and again. As Cookies and Cream has warned us, don't forget to rate anything the Sussexes have. Make sure you rate it, because the Derangers, they organize people to go and wreak havoc in the comment section. So make sure you rate it, and if whenever possible, leave comments, because yeah, it's just I just cannot take what those horrible people have done to try and destroy the momentum of With Love Meghan. It has not worked, but it's not for the sake of that they're not trying, because they are. As a matter of fact, Kate is sitting up watching With Love. Yeah, she's watching it, eating chocolate bonbons, sipping on some rosé. I didn't know that Napa Valley rosé pairs well with chocolates. Wow, look at the size of her feet. Look at the size of those feet. Elaine Parker says, Baron, it's the Duchess of Sussex. She would lose the if divorce, like Fergie lost. Okay, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. Thank you so much for that. So if she remarried, no, if she divorced, she would lose the Duchess of Sussex. I get you. Oh, thank you for that. I didn't realize what the difference was. What's that? The only thing Kate can teach is how to be lazy as hell. Yeah, you know what? Carlos would probably put on a few pounds. He'd probably put on a few pounds hanging around her. And take as many vacations as you can. Okay, you guys, with that, I am done. Thank you so much for joining us here on Royal Sussex. And thank you to the moderators who always keep this a very safe space. I really do appreciate it. And if at all possible, do go over to Instagram and like all of those images. I mean, everything that that there is to like. Put the little hearts or whatever. The more traffic we run through, anything associated directly with the Sussexes, the better off. The better off. So, okay. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, moderators. I'm not coming back later tonight unless something really, 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 really important happens. I will talk to you all mañana. See you mañana. Okay. Okay. Just taking a look at the last comments here. Looks like we're good. Okay. Love you guys. See you next time.